Welcome. In this video, Chapter 13 of Girls Frontline will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Girls Frontline. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. As the electronic interference lifts, Anna awakens from a vivid memory of abandonment, of being left behind to protect those with hope, while others, including a beloved figure, march off to fight a battle they never will return from. Now conscious and surrounded by her allies, she helps lift the quarantine within Zion, a mental cyberspace shared by the children, allowing communications to resume. As the team regroups, tension builds over the lab's dangerous secrets and the children's mysterious abilities, rooted in experiments far beyond what anyone expected. Angie, resolute, prepares to flood the facility and intercept Yegor's forces, entrusting Anna and the other children to 45's care. Despite warnings about the starfish's activation and unknown risk below, Angie moves forward, determined to prevent catastrophe. With collapse radiation rising and time running out, Defy's team splits, some to fight, others to protect. Angie leaves final instructions and a hidden password in case she doesn't return. Her departure marked by a quiet farewell to Anna, who begs her to stay. 45, reluctant but duty-bound, promises to keep the children safe and aid G&K's retreat. As Angie and her squad disappear into the shadows, the weight of trust and sacrifice lingers in the dimly lit lab. Behind them, machines hum back to life, and the fate of Zion and all who've touched it teeters on the brink. 45 checks on the juvenile isomers, catching G11 faking unconsciousness and teasing her before introducing Anna, who awkwardly tries to break the ice. As the rest of Squad 404 arrives, Anna remarks on their oddness, to which 45 proudly declares them an oddball team. Amid the levity, Kalina urgently calls for reinforcements. The commander is under siege. Realizing the gravity, 45 takes charge, assigning 9 and G11 to escort the children to safety while she and 416 rush to aid the commander. The commander, cornered and outgunned near a bunker, tries slipping away unseen but is spotted, forcing a desperate sprint under fire. After narrowly dodging a grenade, they're wounded and hiding, preparing to trigger explosives tied to the C-valves. Haunted by Kruger's words and resigned to their fate, the commander is about to make a last stand, until gunfire interrupts the enemy. 45 and 416 arrive just in time, mowing down foes and joining the commander under fire, vowing to get them out while calling for reinforcements. 45 coordinates with Kalina, while 416 holds off the advancing troops despite dwindling ammo. They're nearly overwhelmed, unable to locate all enemies, as grenades threaten their position. Kalina connects them with SL8, who, though short-handed, is bringing spare ammo and racing to reinforce. The AR team is also en route, and 404 is ordered to hold until backup arrives. Though things look grim, 45 and 416 stay sharp, exchanging quips amid chaos. Now in Persica's lab, Persica, brooding over bitter coffee, is interrupted by Javier and his janitors, who uncover a neurotoxin hidden in the lab. With veiled threats and unsettling charm, Javier reveals multiple assassination attempts and confronts Persica with a photograph from her past, one tying her to 90 Wish, Lycoris, and a girl named Lunasia. The resemblance between Lunasia and various T-dolls raises haunting implications, and Javier presses Persica for answers she's unwilling or unable to give. Despite Persica's silence, Javier lays bare his suspicion that her past, Lyco's death, and the enigmatic Operation Butterfly are intertwined. He warns that withholding the truth could cost lives, Angie's, the dolls, or even the commander's. Though Javier departs without forcing her hand, his parting words shake Persica. Alone again, coffee bitter and tin empty, she trembles under the weight of guilt and indecision, until at last she bolts from her lab, her resolve sparked by the ghost of Lyco's memory. Unit Amber 1 narrowly avoids a barrage of grenades, only to be caught in a massive explosion that sends it crashing to the ground as a blinding blue-white light consumes the elevator. Amid the smoke and silence, M16 reappears, facing her old teammates with calm resolve. Her cryptic words hint at a deeper plan, one she's determined to carry out alone, even if it means facing her friends in combat. The atmosphere grows heavy as she vanishes down the shaft, leaving M4 with a difficult choice and the chilling promise, "I'll be waiting for you on the other side." As Angie chases one threat, M4 prepares to pursue M16 and the SF mastermind alone. The Starfish system is nearly online and time is running out. With the base set to flood, M4 orders her team to retreat and protect the commander while she descends into uncertainty. Dandelion joins her mentally, sensing that the Starfish has already begun to awaken something vast, an alternate space called Zion. Though conflict may be inevitable, M4 steels herself for whatever rates, determined to find the truth and bring M16 back. At the elevator, M16 lets Agent go, revealing she sees all dolls as fellow sacrificial lambs, not enemies. After crippling enemy mechs with expert tactics and cold efficiency, she seals off the last gate, only for M4 to catch up. The two face each other, heavy with unresolved emotion. M4 demands answers, but M16 offers none, insisting only that everything began and must end with her. With Dandy seeking an opening in M16's defenses, M4 takes aim with the weapon M16 once gave her, ready to prove who is right by force if necessary. As the elevator descends in silence, M4 and M16 remain motionless, aware that one move could seal their fates. M4 questions M16 about Zion, the supposed human neural space, and is met with cryptic reflections on power, sacrifice, and the illusion of salvation. M16 declares all dolls, even themselves, mere lab rats shaped by human cruelty, as Ogos begins hacking M4. Dandy intercepts, linking with Ogos, which reveals a shared longing for home and hints at Zion's true nature. As connections deepen and motives blur, Dandy warns M16's attack is coming. As the Ogos voice offers to merge with Dandy, revealing M4's role as a merely failed tool in the conquest for home, M16 falters, overcome by M4's growth and the voice's manipulation. With the Ogos departing M16's neural cloud, Dandy reveals her fusion with it and offers M4 a choice, to uncover the truth in M16's memories, or not. Despite initial hesitation, M4 accepts and dives into M16's neural cloud, where she witnesses the tragic aftermath of Operation Butterfly and Lyco's dying confession about the Pike node, Lineasia, and a sinister trap laid by a man named William. Within M16's memories, M4 learns of Lyco's remorse for creating Elisa and how he attempted to foil William's ambitions by deleting the key AI codes. Elisa, born from the Pike, seeks vengeance after witnessing her father's death, while an unknown voice, implied to be William, intercepts and paralyzes M16, declaring interest in both M4 and Eliza as Ogos vessels. This reveals M4 as Persica's intended successor, designed to surpass all predecessors and resist the Parapuli virus, but potentially just another pawn in a grander manipulation. Returning to the present, M4 confronts the consequences of that past. M16, free of Ogos control, remains bitter and resigned to her fate, warning that the SF and Elisa are beyond saving. Yet M4, now resolute, insists that they're all victims, Elisa included, and vows to protect them. As the elevator reaches its final stop, M4 stands firm in her promise. She won't let anyone die. Not again. As Task Force defies solidify positions, joke about bonuses, ammo types, and upgrades, they all serve as a veneer over their readiness to sacrifice themselves. AK-12 brushes aside sentiment, insisting there's no better strategy, while RPK-16 affirms that dolls are built to die for missions. Even as Angie questions the plan's slim odds, the team stands firm, battle-hardened, bonded, and unflinching in the face of near-certain death. Igor's mech is close now. With one last sardonic remark, 12 leads the charge. Persica reluctantly enters Javier's limousine, feeling the tension of the situation as they drive towards an uncertain destination. She remains anxious, her stomach uneasy, though Javier reassures her about the car's security. Their conversation turns to past events at the Research Institute, with Javier probing into her work with Lyco, the neural cloud research, and Lunasia's connection to the dolls. Persica reveals that William, the mysterious figure mentioned before, had given them a massive data block containing digitized brain data, which led her to create the AR-teen dolls, a decision tied to her unresolved feelings about Lunasia's death and Lyco's departure. As their conversation deepens, Persica uncovers chilling truths about William's identity and his manipulative control over her decisions. Javier reveals that William, the researcher, died years ago, and someone has been using his identity, manipulating Persica and the others for years. Despite her suspicions, she's left with more questions than answers. The discussion shifts to current plans, with Javier receiving orders and ensuring Persica's protection, signaling that their operation is escalating. As the limo reaches its destination, Javier, with a sinister tone, prepares for the next phase of their plan, hinting at the larger forces at play. Task Force Defy lies in ambush as the Sinner mech approaches, its overwhelming firepower a constant threat. The dolls coordinate their positions and prepare for the upcoming battle, with 12 issuing precise instructions to detonate explosives at key points, while RPK lightens the mood with sarcastic banter. As the mech enters the ambush zone, the dolls remain hidden, with RPK drawing its attention and evading the Sinner's counterattacks. Despite the mech's firepower, the dolls are unfazed, continuing to reposition themselves while dealing with the barrage of debris. As the trap tightens, 12 signals the final assault. The mech is lured into the generator room, and the dolls prepare to strike. The outcome of the battle is now imminent, with only 3 minutes left to decide the fate of the mission. Igor's mech pushes deeper into the submarine base, struggling with the maze-like layout modified by Paradeus. As he faces constant attacks from the Defy dolls, he notices a drop in their frequency, suspecting critical damage. The quiet of the moment feels familiar, reminding him of past battles, but his thoughts are interrupted by a sudden explosion above him and the loss of contact with his team. Alone and increasingly certain of Angie's presence, Igor fights to regain control, but is overwhelmed by incendiary grenades and precise attacks that disable his vision and damage his mech's joints. Despite fighting back with missiles and suppressive fire, the dolls close in with explosive force, and Igor is left with little choice but to retreat. But due to the sustained heavy damage, he struggles to maintain balance and counterattack. A devastating explosion incapacitates his remaining thrusters, leaving him immobile. Despite this, Igor remains defiant, but he is soon confronted by Angie's mocking voice and the devastating realization of her plan. The final blow comes when seawater begins flooding the base, and Igor understands that his fate is sealed. With his mech disabled and no escape, he contemplates his past by looking at a family photo as the water closes in, waiting for his inevitable end. M4 examines the fragments of M16's memories and learns that Elisa's neural cloud wasn't fully deleted, as Lyco had claimed. M16's original purpose was to protect M4, and after stopping her from connecting with Elisa, M16 seized the Pike Core, unknowingly enabling Elisa's link to the Starfish. As M16 prepares to destroy the Starfish with explosives, M4 pleads with her to stop, offering to bring her back to Griffin. However, M16, bitter and resigned to her fate as a T-Doll, remains determined to end everything. M4 vows to save Elisa and stop the destruction, even if it means defying M16's wishes. M4 and Dandy enter Elisa's base lair, where M4 is bombarded with cryptic voices and disembodied consciousnesses. They discover that Elisa has connected and partially activated the Starfish, and despite M4's plea, Elisa is determined to fulfill her goal of achieving immortality for SF. As M4 tries to prevent the activation, Elisa's defensive firewall intensifies, forcing M4 to head to the Starfish control room to sever the connection. Amid a flooded base and intense confrontation, M4 is prepared for a final battle to stop Elisa and prevent SF's destruction. In a world defined by conflict, Dandelion believes that peace, though elusive, is possible through strength and survival amidst strife. She and the failed isomers are fragments of existence, born of countless failures and pain, yet still yearning for a better future. They face the harsh reality that their struggles may be meaningless, but Dandy holds on to the idea that, even in their imperfections, they're still given purpose. As they battle against forces like Elisa's Ogos neural cloud, they hope to achieve peace and salvation, believing that if they unite and overcome the collapse, they can build a future worth fighting for. Ultimately, the pain and sacrifice of their journey leads them to a critical moment where the possibility of reconstruction and redemption hangs in the balance. Under M4's assault, the Starfish system begins to fade, and Elisa's connection with it falters as her body weakens. Unable to maintain control, she collapses, but M4 catches her and reassures her she hasn't failed. As Elisa loses consciousness, M4 experiences a neural overload, feeling Dandy's presence in her cloud, who reveals their plan to harness the Starfish's power. Dandy fuses with M4's neural cloud, offering access to all their knowledge to save or destroy, leaving M4 with a choice. As the Starfish collapses, M4 resolves to save those who have suffered because of her, preparing for the inevitable destruction. M16 joins her as the Starfish explodes and the world around them fades, signaling a new beginning. Later in the submarine base, Dandy informs the commander that M16 and M4 are alive, though changed, as the team prepares to move forward in a world forever altered. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Azure Lane videos as well.